Well, welcome. My name is Carl Arnold, and I'm with Arnold Law and Mediation in Northfield, Minnesota. Today I'm talking with Lois Warner, founder of Mediation Works North in Hibbing, Minnesota. She teaches a Parents Forever class that is available live online, and the Parents Forever online class is what we're discussing here today. Hello, Lois.
Hello. How are you today, Carl?
I'm doing well, thanks. Before we get into the Parents Forever class, why don't you tell me a little bit about Mediation Works North? What is it, and how did it start?
Okay. It is a nonprofit organization based in northern Minnesota, Hibbing.
Okay.
We are a United Way agency, United Way of Northeastern Minnesota, and we also receive funding from the Minnesota State Bar. Our mission is to help parents in conflict over children through divorce and separation.
Well, that's neat. Does it have other components other than, so I take that to mean it's broader in scope than just the Parents Forever class?
It is.
Okay.
We provide co-parenting education and mediation services.
Oh, neat. Well, we'll have to cover that in another session, perhaps.
Okay.
So what do you consider co-parent education?
Co-parenting education is teaching parents how to parent apart. Ways to lessen effects on children, ways to communicate the needs of the children, those kinds of things. You know, it's basically teaching parents how to lessen effects on children through conflict resolution.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me in that vein of thinking, that line of thinking, what's the curriculum of the Parents Forever class?
Okay. Lessen effects on children, helping them manage, go through the transitions, effects on adults, communication, parenting time scheduling suggestions, practical co-parenting tips, legal issues, such as, what is physical, legal custody, problem solving, asset distribution, just some basics, the roles of the courts and things like that. And I do add conflict resolution and communication, crisis problem solving into the curriculum. Okay.
Now this class is a little different because it's offered online, right?
Right. It is.
So what is required of a person, let's say a person is interested in taking this class, it's online, what do they need in terms of internet connection, equipment, and so on?
A basic internet connection, however, a dial-up is probably pretty slow to handle some of the videos. Internet connection and a headset, a lot what we're using, only you don't need voice capacity, just a regular headset like you listen to music. That's really
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then is it interactive? Would they type questions? How does that work?
Yeah, it is interactive in this respect. They don't have microphone rights, so they're not talking like we're talking here. And there's no webcams up for the people.
Okay.
But
so they can see and they can hear, but
they can hear. They see the PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm teaching them
they
PowerPoint, sharing my computer, and then they use chat questions for question and answer, and they can converse with each other through chat, or they can ask me questions privately, and I can respond privately.
But the method they use is by typing on their keyboard.
Yes.
Okay. Can anyone across Minnesota attend these online Parents Forever classes through Mediation Works North?
Anywhere in the United States. Because sometimes there are parents out of state. Like one parent might be in Minnesota, one parent might be in Texas somewhere.
Oh, sure. So that would be it would be a way for them to actually complete the course and not physically be in Minnesota.
Right. It is. It's also helpful if two parents take the same class, because a lot of the materials that I teach I have a lot of add-ons. And so when you teach like co-parenting tips and things like that to one parent, it's very helpful if both receive the same materials.
Oh, okay. What type of time commitment is required for the class? Is it one session, 2 sessions? When are they and how long?
It's 2 sessions. It's about 2.5 hours each session. They run on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, regularly one time per month.
Okay.
So it's about 2.5. It's about 5 hours of actual live time, and then I also email them printed resources,
Okay.
Working calendars, forms for a communication notebook, and things like that, and then explain it in the class so that they can put a communication plan in place.
What sort of person or what circumstances are people required to take a course like this?
Most of the time it's court ordered. Anytime people go into, let's say they approach the court or they file an action, either a divorce or a custody or a parenting time issue, generally as a rule they're court ordered into it. However, there are parents who take it whether they're court ordered or not.
Right, because they'd learn a lot of conflict resolution skills.
Right.
In terms of co-parenting.
Right.
Okay. What's the cost involved with this particular class?
It's $85 for the class. If they're a legal aid or a low-income parent, it's $45. On special circumstances, I will waive a fee.
Okay. So it meets the requirements for the Parents Forever class requirement for court, right?
Right.
That's what you said.
Yeah. In Minnesota.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
So it's different for each state, probably.
I believe it. Yes, I believe it is. However, I would think if it met Minnesota's, it would probably meet other states. I would think.
Okay, but yours is specifically geared towards Minnesota Parents Forever takers.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
What experiences have you had? I guess I'm looking for sort of the teacher's background here. What experiences have you had in terms of, mediation, teaching the class, training that make this an interesting course?
Well, if I could start out, I guess, explaining how I got into this.
Sure, please do.
I actually was an official court reporter for 10 years.
Okay.
Worked as a court reporter, 6 years out of family court, and I really hated watching people's lives being torn apart. As a court reporter, you're recording all this. And a very severe repetitive stress injury actually took my career out. And then I went back to college for a legal assistant, and that led me into mediation, which led me into co-parenting education. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, this is really what I want to do.
That's neat. So you could kind of make a difference in the things you saw that you didn't like.
It works. It truly does work. Divorce is, basically all business, but yet it's got high emotionally charged components in it. And people sometimes just need an atmosphere that's non-threatening. Mm-hmm. They need a little support, they need some education, and they need a little help. And they can get through it. And I like doing what I do.
When, let's say there's a viewer watching this video and they're considering taking the Parents Forever class, what do you want them to take away from this video? What are some of why should they take the class, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, what I tell all my students is, don't take the class because it's court ordered. Take it because it helps. Take it because it's a resource. It's going to help in a number of different ways. It's going to help them process what's happening, the transitions in their life, because how well they do, of course, is going to dictate how well their children do. And take it for the kids. One comment
I've heard feedback in my law and mediation practice is people say they wish they would have taken it sooner. Mm-hmm. Any Parents Forever class, they say, I wish I would have taken that a month ago or 3 months ago. Because it's really sort of helps them understand what process they're going through and how they relate to their kids and how they can do it better.
Right. The earlier the better. The earlier you can get, basically if you're going through, if the listeners here, they're going through a divorce, going through parenting time or those kinds of difficulties, information and education really is a lifeline. And mm-hmm. the sooner they can research and get those materials, the better they'll understand the dynamics of what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, if a person is looking for information online for Mediation Works North and your Parents Forever class, is there a website for that?
There is www.mediationworksnorth.org.
Okay. And then do you want them to call, or is the website going to have that contact information?
The website has the contact information. They can, of course, call my office too at 218-263-7307 if they want to talk to me.
All right. Well, thank you, Lois. Again, this is Lois Warner. She's the founder and operates Mediation Works North in Hibbing, Minnesota. She teaches a Parents Forever class that is available live online to anyone across Minnesota and, as we've learned, across the country. This is Carl Arnold, and I'm from Arnold Law and Mediation from Northfield, Minnesota. Thank you, Lois.
You're most welcome. Thanks for having me.